campaign and I traversed the whole country. In fact, I went to 285 constituencies out of 290 constituencies. I went to over 1,700 wards campaigning for Babu because I knew there was change that was coming. And up to now, my mind is not thinking well. I'm disturbed. At times I just sleep and wake up in the middle of the night, asking myself what really happened. But you see, Muredi, we lost an election that was ours. An election that was going to change the lives of Kenyans for better. And this election, we cannot blame Kenya Kwanza. We have to blame ourselves. Within our house, that is where the problem started. Personally, I knew now I would not be sitting in this office already. Right now, I would be serving Kenyans at a different level as a cabinet secretary, either for interior or education. But look at me now. I promised Embakasi East residents that I was going to give them jobs. Some were going to work in Garissa from Embakasi East. Some were going to work in Kisumu. Some were going to Nyeri. Some were going to remain here in Nairobi. Others were going to Mombasa. And even people from various parts of this country were going to get jobs in my ministry. But now again, look at me. Multiplied by 0 and raised to power 0, which is 0. I'm where I was last time. At times I say that I ought not to have even joined that presidential campaign if I would have known the results. But you see, we made fundamental mistakes. But they were by design. Because losing an election is not very easy. Especially when you have the government on your side. Because it can only by design. But we lost an election when we lost BBI. If you ask me, all these others were just some additional information about losing the elections. But remember, when BBI was brought, BBI was a very good document. But BBI was a document that was designed to fail. But at what point did BBI fail? BBI failed in courts. The moment we introduced a clause of the office of the ombudsman to oversight the judiciary, we lost it at that moment. But the person who brought it in knew that we would lose it at that moment because judiciary would not pass something that was going to oversight them. Number 2, the introduction of the 70 extra constituencies that was going to increase the wage bill. The introduction of those constituencies was not well designed. They were supposed to be done purely by IEBC. But we brought it in the document. But you see, when we were passing the BBI in various counties, we passed BBI in so many counties. Over 40 counties passed BBI. Then the National Assembly passed BBI. Then Senate passed BBI. Then the problem started in the courts. Why? Because the wings of the courts were to be clipped. But even with that in place, if the president of this nation is the appointing authority, is the one who appoints judges, do you want to tell me if president would have taken his phone and told a judge to pass BBI, would it fail? It would have not failed. But when BBI failed, but before it failed, who were on our side? Literally everybody was supporting us. Every other big political party and a small political party, in this nation were all supporting BBI, and they signed. But the moment BBI failed, we started experiencing mass exodus from our side. That is the time our speaker, Wetangula, left. That is the time Honorable Honorable Musalia Mudavadi left. That is the time the Speaker of the National Assembly, within that period, left. When I saw the Speaker of the National Assembly leaving, Speaker Justin Muturi, I knew there was a problem, because Speaker was Uhuru's best friend that I know. But the moment he left, I knew that there's a problem. Do you remember there's a time the now President Ruto refused to greet Speaker Justin Muturi in Parliament? He just passed him because there was a problem between the two. But after that, Justin Muturi joined Ruto. Then after that, Waiguru of all the people, Waiguru has always been perceived to be very close to the former President Uhuru. When she had a problem, the alleged corruption case and the alleged Mwosho Moja at Capitol Hill, she was very close to Babu. Very close to Babu. Then out of nowhere, she just moved towards Ruto's. She went to Ruto's camp. So this tells you something, that people who were very close to President Uhuru, very close, were moving to Ruto's side, which means that there was unwritten law. There was some form of communication. There was some assurance that people were being given. Look at Alfred Mutua. Kalonzo having refused to move, but they needed some bit of Kamba votes, which they got around 100,000, although Kambas voted for Azimio largely. But that tilted the scale, because the 50% plus one was passed by around only 69,000 votes. But look at when Mutua moved towards the last minute. The last minute, which means that there was some form of communication. There's something that these people knew that we did not know. And today I'm speaking about this. Fearing nobody, fearing nothing. But because I was at the center of everything also, I must speak about it. For me to be free and for my mind to be free and for Kenyans to know what I'm thinking. But it requires a sharp brain, a very sharp brain and intellectual to know that there was a game going on. Then, let's fast forward. There was the purported fight between the former president and the current president, Ruto. Then the fight started escalating towards elections. And it was even very nasty, to a point where the Ruto was telling Uhuru, do not kill my children. Where was that imported from? Was it necessary? But these statements were mere statements of puff. In law, they are called misrepresentation, or mere statements of puff, meant to hoodwink Kenyans, to send smoke screens that, we are genuinely fighting. That, whatever we are planning ahead, the end must justify the means. Whatever we are doing, it doesn't matter. We can equally abuse each other. We can do whatever we want to do. But the end must justify the means. But let Kenyans know that we are fighting. Because why would Uhuru and Ruto fight if in 2002, Ruto stood with Uhuru against all odds? 2013, Ruto stood with Uhuru against all odds. 2017, Ruto stood with Uhuru. And they also went to ICC together. So what is it that went wrong between the two? Nothing. After all, you are advised that if somebody fights for you so much, and if you loses, you will always owe the person. But if you win, you will reward the person. So they fought in 2002, they lost together. So which means Uhuru owed Ruto. They fought in 2013 and 2017, they won together, which means Uhuru had to reward Ruto. What is this thing that Baba did to Uhuru that Uhuru ought to have rewarded it? Nothing. Truth be told. But you see, having known that after the 2017 elections took place, we had to go for handshake. Why? Because the economy was going down. Without peace, without peace, the economy will always go down, because the economy of a state is controlled by the political activities of that state. And the political activities of a state controls the economy of a nation or of a state. But because there were several demonstrations, the economy was down, there are no jobs, people are crying left, right, and center because of hunger. The only best thing that ought to have been done was to go for handshake, so that people can go to their various jobs, children can go to school, people can do businesses. But that is where wisdom came in, really. That you,